Hello friends, welcome to SY Academy. In this video, we are again continuing the discussion of Scrum, and this lecture is extremely useful for PSM1 exam, and I'm making this lecture very exam oriented, right? So let's begin the discussion. Hope you have already watched the previous video. So first, in this video, I will going to discuss in short about Scrum artifacts. Okay, let me write the correct spelling for you. Artifacts, okay? And there are three artifacts. Can you tell me? Can you pause this video and write in the comment section? If not, then let me write it for you. First is the product backlog, friends. Product backlog, which contains all the information related to product or all the you can say items related to product which we are building right now. Okay. And second Scrum artifact is sprint backlog. Sprint backlog is something which your team has picked up for current sprint. Let's say your current sprint is of 2 weeks, then all the items which are picked up by your Scrum team, right, and precisely developers for current sprint will be there in the sprint backlog. Sometimes the question is asked, is product backlog bigger than the sprint backlog? There are two options, true or false. The answer is true. This product backlog is always bigger because it contains more items. Then your developers choose some of the items which can be completed in the current sprint. Okay. And the third important artifact or the last artifact is the increment. Increment is something which you deliver in the current sprint. Okay, increment is something which you deliver. Okay, so just to tell in the layman terms, all the development work that you have completed in the current sprint is increment. Okay, increment can be merged with your release. Talking about in developer's term, you usually merge it with your master branch and then you can deploy it. Just I want to highlight these things with you, that master branch or release points are not mentioned in the sprint. Why sprint or scrum? Okay, scrum guide does not contain details about master branch or how you are releasing your product. Okay, because Scrum says that teams are self-managed. Okay, they take their decisions on their own. You need to keep these things in mind. When I'm discussing artifacts, I would also like to discuss their commitments. Okay, there are commitments also of each of the artifact. Okay, and and let's discuss. So complete product backlog is having a commitment of product goal. That what goal are we trying to achieve? Let's say we are trying to build a WhatsApp application or a messenger application, then our product goal is messenger application. Okay, and product backlog contains all the items to make that messenger application. Sprint backlog is having commitment of sprint goal. So each sprint is having a sprint goal. In the sprint planning, you decide what is your sprint goal and your team is aligned with your sprint goal. Okay. Then increment is having commitment with definition of done. Definition of done is quite important, friends. Definition of done is something like how you will accept the uh, development. Okay, let's say you are developing sign up. Okay, sign up feature. Okay, just I'm giving one example. Then sign up feature will have definition of done, that it has been tested. It has been tested, let's say on all apps. Okay, on all apps. This is definition of done. Why definition of done is very important? Because your sprint scrum team, okay, not sprint team but scrum team, knows what they have to deliver. Let's say if you are not defining your definition of done, then different people will think in a different way. Some people will think, let me only develop this feature, I will not test it. Okay, some other people will think, okay, let me develop it for Android application only. Okay, some other people will think, let me develop it for iOS application only. But when you are defining your definition of done as tested on all apps, that means it should work on all the applications where your feature is present or where you are making it. Okay, so that's why definition of done is very important. And uh, definition of done is usually defined by organization. Okay, definition of done is defined by the organization. It is at the organization level. If it is not defined at the organization level, then mutually it is defined by your Scrum team. Okay, you need to keep these things in mind. Definition of done is usually defined by organization. If it is not defined by organization, then your Scrum team define it. Okay, and coming back to artifacts, my friends, these are mandatory. That means you cannot pick or choose as per your convenience. You cannot say, I will only focus on sprint backlog, I will ignore product backlog, or I will not include definition of done, or I will not include increment. You cannot say that. Artifacts and their commitments are mandatory. Okay, so you need to keep these things in mind, and we are going ahead in this discussion. Okay, and mm, let's focus upon what happens in uh, um, in a Scrum team. Okay, I'm going back to that discussion. I will discuss few points. I have discussed some points in the previous lecture. Now I will discuss about Scrum team. Scrum team, friends, is self-managed. That means they take their decisions on their own. They define who is going to do what, who will going to do what, how many, what is the time taken by this item. Okay, let's say there is a feature to be built, maybe sign-in feature needs to be built. Then your Scrum team will define on its own. Nobody, no outsider will say, okay, this will take 20 story points or 10 story points. Okay, your internal team can take the decisions. Let's say it will take 7 story points, right? So self-managed. Second point is cross-functional. Cross-functional. What does cross-functional means? Cross-functional means your Scrum team as a whole has all the technical expertise, has all the technical expertise to create a value. Okay, your team as a whole knows everything. Okay, they do not need the help of any outsider to create any value. Okay, why value needs to be created? Value, you can say that developing a feature or developing an increment is a value. Okay, now let's come to other points. Very important point, there are no sub teams, there are no sub hierarchies in your Scrum team. What does it mean? See, this is little tricky. As per Scrum guide, there are no testers, there are no developers, there are no designers. Okay, there are no designers. Okay, when I'm saying no developers, I'm trying to convey that there are no separate hierarchy, but they call everyone in the team as developer. Everyone, whether you are doing coding, let me write it as coder. Okay, let me rub it, let me write it, let me say that there is no tester, there is no coder, there is no designer. Don't get confused that there is no developer. There are developers, everyone is a developer as per Scrum guide. Okay, everyone is a developer, whether you are a designer, whether you are a tester. Okay, if a developer is doing testing, they can choose it according to their will. Okay, they can choose according to their will, and they can write manual testing, automation testing. Scrum team does not highlight this, that whether you need to do manual testing or automation testing or any type of testing. Okay, Scrum team is self-managed. Okay, self-managed, so Scrum guide does not define that. Then there is collective accountability. That means accountability is defined as a whole on the Scrum team, that they are self-managed and they can take their decisions. Okay. For example, sprint goal is defined by Scrum team. Okay, collective responsibility for all product related activities, for all values, for usable increment in each sprint. Uh, they are taking collective accountability. Then let's discuss another thing, that in a Scrum team there are 10 or fewer members. Keep this thing in mind. Whatever feature you are developing, you might be developing Facebook, or you might be developing a very small web page, interactive web page. You will have 10 or fewer members as per Scrum guide. Okay, you need to remember this point. Do not get confused in the examination. Okay. uh, I would like to again highlight the point of self-managed here. Internally, they decide who does what, when, and how. Okay. They do not need any outsider help. CEO will not come, or any business person will not come, that this person will do this at this time. Okay. You need to deliver this feature on 31st March. Nobody can say this. This is defined by Scrum team only. See, these points are important because, guys, when you are working in your company, then things are little different, right? You get people come to you, or product managers come to you, they say that okay, you need to do this and you need to deliver this by this date. Okay, this is not how Scrum works, or sprint works, you can say. Okay. uh, is in a Scrum you need to follow that there is a philosophy of self-management. Okay, they think that people are self-managed and cross-functional. Cross-functional means have all these skills to create value in each sprint. That means they know what they have to deliver. Okay, so they do not need any outsider guidance. Now let's discuss few points related to Scrum Master. What is his role? Sometimes it could be asked in the examination, and he is a facilitator. Okay, he facilitate things. For example, if people are uh, that how Scrum needs to be followed, Scrum Master helps in that. Okay, that meetings needs to be time boxed. Okay, events or meetings needs to be time boxed. He tells that. For example, your every daily Scrum meeting should not go beyond 15 minutes. This is time boxed. Okay, time boxed means this event cannot take more than this time. That means if your daily Scrum is mentioned as time boxed for 15 minutes, it will not take more than 15 minutes. This is what Scrum Master helps in achieving it, or he guides team how to achieve it. If someone comes to Scrum Master, let's say product owner is new and he is coming to Scrum Master that I do not understand Scrum, then Scrum Master helps product owner to know about Scrum philosophy, to know about tools which can be used by the team. Okay, he is not a manager. You need to remember these points. He does not lead any team. You need to remember this point. So he's a facilitator. Second point, which you can say, he removes impediments. Impediments means any issue which is going on, which is any blocker which is there, right? For instance, let's say there is one developer who is causing an issue constantly. Then Scrum Master helps in solving the problem, that how issue of that developer can be taken out or can be taken up with the management or other team members. If developers are not able to time box their events, then Scrum Master comes and helps the team members or developers to achieve how they can complete their events in that amount of time. For example, daily Scrum needs to be completed in 15 minutes. If it is not getting completed in 15 minutes, then Scrum Master helps in solving it. So any blockers will be solved by the Scrum Master. This is his role. Then what is the role of product owner? See, he is the owner of product. Also, you need to understand that He orders the product backlog. So product backlog is ordered by him. Okay, order means priority, that which item is having higher priority. Okay, the very important point which could be asked in the examination, what is his specific role? Then you need to say that value maximizer. He brings maximum value out of the sprint, out of the Scrum team. Value maximizer. Okay, this is his primary role for as per Scrum guide. Okay, then what is the role of developers? See, I told you that ordering of product items is done by product owner, but sizing is done by developers. Sizing means how much time each item will take. Okay. Another very important point for developers is they create any aspect of a usable increment each sprint. Okay. That let's say quality of each product and creation of increment in each sprint is taken up by developers. They are the one who is doing coding, okay? They are doing testing, they are doing designing, okay? And they are developing the features, okay? For example, they need to, let's say, developers sign up feature in this sprint. Okay, so quality of sign up feature is will be done by developers, and sign up is the increment. People get confused what is increment. Increment is something which is a value which you have created in this sprint. Okay, the work that you have delivered. Okay, it is the role of developers. Okay, so this is a bit about maybe uh, sprint, and we also discuss scrum. Here we also discussed artifacts. In the next video we will again discuss few more points. If there are any questions, feel free to write it in the comment section. I will be happy to answer your questions. Thank you.